Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be taking you through our brand new guidebook for Population Z, which teaches you how to design a skirmish. This is a step-by-step guide, so we're going to walk you through the process with 18 steps all together, and I've also included a bunch of tables in here to give you some inspiration for some of the parts, especially choosing a location, writing the narrative, and including NPCs and vehicles, that kind of thing into it. This is specifically for Population Z, so you are going to need the core book, Welcome to Huntsville, and in here there is a section on starting a skirmish that talks through what you need to get prepared for and the skirmish map, and then there's also a nice section on the difficulty as well, and setting the different levels and how many zombies, things like that. So that's a good page to read through in conjunction with the guidebook. And I've also included a skirmish in there, so it gives you a nice example of what it's all about. Altogether, there's 40 pages, and we've made it the same size as the core book and also as the assets book, so it'll all sit nicely on the shelf together. It's also available as a PDF, and if you signed up to our newsletter, you will have got a discount, and Patreon members have got it for free. Alright, let's go through the contents then. So here you can see we've got the 18 steps where we're going to look at the location and go through all the different things you need to consider when putting together a skirmish. Population Z is heavy on narrative, it's really driving the games, and so we're going to town on that and focusing a lot on it throughout the design process. And these tables are going to be a massive part of that process, and there's a lot of information in those tables. Combining that with the steps, I think you've got everything you need here to put together some really cool stories. Also included that example skirmish and all the zombie cards up to date now as well. You can cut them out if you want to. So here's the introduction, just going through everything, and then we've got a little bit here just introducing the guide and the idea of play testing. You may find that once you put together something cool on paper, when you actually play it, it might not work as you hoped. So you can make some little changes as you go. And it's a great activity to do with the family, even with your friends. It's not a kids game, Population Z, but it is family friendly, and we certainly encourage that. And then also share your creations. Once you put something together, come and join us on Discord or the Facebook group. We'd love to see it. And now we're going to go through the 18 steps. And so we choose the location, and then we ask, why are the survivors there? And then once we've done that, we can move on and write the narrative introduction. In Population Z, we approach this with flash fiction. This is where we write between 300 and 1,000 words, and this will be the narrative introduction. We usually do it from the perspective of a zombie or an NPC, and so we've gone through here in this fun style of the Huntsville Gazette. We've written an article that takes you through 6 steps to write your own flash fiction, and you're going to see this layout of the Huntsville Gazette in the main book and also in our one-shots, and this is a really fun way to get across some information in short, sharp sections, which is really fun to read. It's really fun to write too, but this is a massive topic that we could easily write a whole book on, but I think this is a great place to start. If you've never done it before, this is a really cool little introduction to get you going, but we definitely recommend having a go and doing a little bit of writing. You don't have to, it's not needed, but it certainly does add to the skirmish. Now we've got our narrative introduction prepared, it's time to set the scene. And this is what you'll see at the beginning of each of our skirmishes and one-shots. This is just a small paragraph that gets us going and moves us from the narrative to the gameplay. Then we're going to look at how to set objectives and all the different types that you could use in the game, or some of them at least. There's a big page on choosing your terrain, and for me, the terrain in a skirmish game is almost like one of the characters. It's a massive part, and so we've dedicated a whole page to talking about how to prepare your terrain, what role it serves in the skirmishes, and how you can involve it in the narrative too. Then we've got survivors. You wouldn't normally include them at this stage, but it's really good to think about them throughout, especially like asking why they're there. And then when you've got your location and everything decided, you can start looking at different items and weapons, even designing some new ones like we've done here. We took the baseball bat and we just tweaked it a little bit to come up with a new item, the scaffold pole, that fit with the skirmish we designed. And then you've got legendary items as well. Again, it's really cool. Whenever we do a new campaign, we're going to come up with new legendary items that fit that location. That leads us nicely on to choosing items that you can search for in the skirmish. There's going to be a set number usually, so depending on the location, you might want loads of things to search for, or you might be somewhere where there isn't much to search for at all. So that's going to affect, again, the narrative and the kind of story location. That's going to decide a lot of the further steps. The tables in the book are where you'd normally find the items, but we recommend coming up with your own tables like we've done here, and that was a table we used as an example for a workshop. So if you have a building that's a workshop in your scenario, then why not have some items that are unique to that? So we've put together a table here of 2 to 12, so you'll roll on that, and that'll decide whether you find things like crowbars, hammers, tea bags, first aid kit, maybe even a booby trap. Now we're on to zombies, so this is going to be a massive part of the design process because the zombies, again, must fit that location. Don't have to, but it's really cool when you're in a supermarket, you come up against the butcher. If you're in the hospital, there's going to be patients, nurses, surgeons, maybe even some visitors coming in there as well. So once we've got the zombies, we can also choose our difficulty, and then we can think about NPCs as well. So NPCs are not just zombies in Population Z, they can be other survivors. So you can play against another group if you want to. That's in solo co-op mode, and so that's really fun. Or you can include NPCs that can give you a little buff, can help you in some way too. Then we've got number of rounds, and this checklist is taken from the Skirmish, so you'll fill this in along with the difficulty. And then also going to be looking at some special rules. And these special rules will affect the activities the NPCs might carry out, what happens when you react with them, and things like that. Also bear in mind the size of the battlefield, because that has a big part in play for special rules and objectives. For example, if you've got to move a certain distance within a certain number of rounds, you want to make sure it's actually possible for the size of the battlefield and the number of movement actions your survivors can carry out. Then we're on to step 15 with rewards. There's always a reward. There's also consequences too. So if things go wrong, something's got to happen. So we talk about that. Little introduction to the Skirmish map, which we've covered in a lot of detail in the core book. So we've just brought that with a little paragraph there, and also a list of items in case you wanted to design your own maps. You could start putting together map assets and then even coming up with your own style, which would be fun. And then finally, we've got the Skirmish plan sheet itself, and this is one that we've included in the book for you to photocopy or print off, and then you can fill that out, and then you've got everything in the same order that you're used to with the skirmishes that we've published. I'll probably add this to the website as a separate PDF as well, but if you buy the book, you do get the PDF for free. So just drop me an email, links down below, and then I'll send you out the link to get the free PDF to accompany the paperback. Now we're on to the tables, and this is where a lot of the work for this design process has been put in play. We've got different columns here for locations, so let's do it. Column 3, then we roll 1 dice for the d6, and then another one for the other 6, and that gives us 26. So we look 26, column 3, we've got a bakery. So that's going to give us a random location that we can start thinking about and prompting us for ideas. And now let's think about vehicles that could go in that area too. In this case, there's 3 columns, so 5 or 6 will be the third. Then we've rolled 54. Now we've got a tank. So we've got a location, we've got a vehicle that could be there, and then we're starting to come up with all different ideas and stories now. Of course, you can choose. You don't have to roll randomly, and this is just here to help you in different ways. Then we've got objectives, and then 2 pages, 1 to 3 or 4 to 6. So we're going to use this page as we rolled a 1. Let's see what we get. 35. And this tells us that we see an astronaut land close by, get to them before the zombies do. And altogether, you're going to have 72 different objectives to choose from. So there's so much in here. Come up with your own as well, but use this to get started with. And I'm sure you could come up with tons of cool ideas yourself. I think this is really fun. I love doing this side of the hobby. This is my favourite thing, actually, coming up with skirmishes. Then we've got helpful prompts, NPC jobs too. So you've got lots of different things that you can pick to add layers to your design. Let's go and roll for everything. So here we've got helpful prompt. We're going to be column 2, 51. It tells us they don't get it. Things are different now. So that might just give you a little prompt to start thinking of some narrative. And then for a job, let's go. We've got 13. And here we've got an accountant. So what's an accountant doing there in the bakery with a tank nearby as he watches, or she watches, an astronaut landing? Who knows? That's up for you to decide. Now we're up to page 20. I thought it'd be cool to include an example skirmish. And this is Sleeper Train. We published this as a one-shot. Loads of you would have got this for free as we sent out emails when it was published. But I've included it in here as a print version because I think it's really good to have an example in the same book, which takes you through all the different steps, creating your narrative, Here's the skirmish plan with the special rules, the map and the map key, and the special rules are quite different for this one, so I think this will be a nice example for you. And then I've got the new cards for any characters that have been created, and so they're all included there, as well as a terrain example. I thought this would be helpful to visualise the map actually with terrain on the table, so we took some photos and then also made a video on how we designed that terrain set out actually. And then you've also got cutouts for the cards, the tokens, and the standees if you'd like to use those as well. And see here you've got the other zombie cards, all of the 11 zombies now up to date with the Population Z logo on the back, so you can cut them out and then you can put them in card sleeves and you're good to go. And then finally, there's that skirmish plan and a thank you from us at the end of the book. So that's it. There we go, there's our guidebook, the first guidebook for Population Z, how to design a skirmish, your step-by-step guide. I'd love to know what you think about this, so let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to get hold of a copy, there's links to both the PDF and the print version for all the different regions, and so you'll be able to easily pick that up. This is to accompany the core book, so if you're looking to find out more about Population Z, Welcome to Huntsville, then that's going to have all the rules you need to play the game, and that's also available as a paperback and PDF. And I've done loads of videos going through the book itself and also all the rules for the game, so if you'd like to check that out, that's all available on our YouTube channel, and you're looking at well over 140 pages here with all the rules you need to play the game. And then this is a nice supplement if you want to go a bit further and start designing your own skirmishes and one-shots and even campaigns too. I think I'll do another video where I actually show you how to design a skirmish in real time. I'm going to just design one, we'll do it together and you can see how it works. But for now, this is an introduction to the book. Hope you liked it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. A massive thank you to everyone on Patreon for all your support right from the beginning of the channel and now up to Population Z, and soon we've got our new game Lunaria Chronicles coming out too. If you've been a member of the Patreon for the last month, then you will have got the free PDF for the one shot and the free PDF for this how to design a skirmish guide, and I hope you've been enjoying it. Would love to know what you think about it, but thanks for now and I look forward to seeing you again soon.